Silenced by History. Weingartner's Kain and Abel. Its Conception, Neglect, and Return to the Stage by Daniel Cohen. Read by ChatGPT. Chapter 3. The Libretto. Reimagining Kain. Weingartner, following in the footsteps of Wagner, chose to write his own libretto, his own poetic text, using Byron as a departure point, but rebuilding the story completely anew to serve his own very defined poetical and dramaturgical needs. However imperfect the overall dramatic structure, it is, in my opinion, an exceptionally beautiful text and an extraordinarily daring literary achievement. Although Kain und Abel originates in a long-standing engagement with Byron's Kain, Weingartner's libretto represents not an adaptation in the narrow sense, but a radical reconfiguration of Byron's material. The theological disputation and metaphysical irony that dominate Byron's Kain are consciously set aside in favor of a concentrated, deeply human conflict. As Weingartner himself emphasized, the work abandons philosophical speculation in order to construct an elemental, dramatic situation, one grounded not in abstract ideas, but in human longing, resentment, tenderness, and despair. The result is not a philosophical drama, but a tragic constellation of characters whose inner contradictions propel the action. At the center of this constellation stands Adam, who in Weingartner's version is neither patriarch nor lawgiver, but a figure consumed by nostalgia. He is obsessed with the lost state of bliss that preceded the fall, a condition of blissfully ignorant union with Lilith. His longing is not directed toward moral redemption or future hope, but toward regression, a return to a prelapsarian existence untouched by responsibility, labor, or conflict. Adam's tragedy lies in his refusal to accept the human condition as irreversible. His yearning for Eden renders him incapable of fully inhabiting the present. Eve, by contrast, emerges as the first fully human figure of the drama, and in many respects, its most grounded presence. She is concerned not with lost paradises or metaphysical ideals, but with the practical necessities of survival: shelter, food, daily labor. Her world is the hut, the hearth, the tasks that must be completed to sustain life. Throughout the opera, she repeatedly sneers, often sharply and ironically, at the other character's obsession with what is distant, elevated, or unattainable. Seltsam Geschlecht, das nur in die Ferne strebt. Eva is a figure rooted in labor and necessity, suspicious of aspirations that neglect the material conditions of existence. Kain. Kain embodies the experience of deprivation and perceived injustice. From the outset, he understands himself as fundamentally disadvantaged, less handsome than his brother, physically weaker, less favored by nature itself. In one of his earliest outbursts, he articulates a worldview shaped by grievance. Even the elements seem aligned against him, as the wind that fans Abel's sacrificial fire extinguishes his own. Kain's resentment is not merely fraternal but cosmic. He experiences existence itself as unfairly distributed. His tragedy is intensified by self-awareness, Selbstkenntnis. He knows that he is embittered and yet cannot escape the logic that fuels his rage. Kain is not born evil. He is formed by comparison, exclusion, and the crushing sense of being wronged. Abel stands in deliberate contrast to Kain, and it is here that Weingartner most clearly allows Byron's romantic legacy to surface, though transformed. Abel is cast as a quintessential romantic hero, kin to Byron's Manfred and Childe Harold, a figure driven by restless aspiration, forever striving toward new horizons in search of space adequate to his expanding inner life. Musically and dramatically, he belongs to the lineage of Wagnerian heroes. His vocal writing aligns him with Tristan, marking him as a charismatic Heldentenor prone to expansive, feverish flights of metaphysical imagination. Abel's attraction lies not merely in his moral stature, but in the sheer force of his personality, a force that inspires, unsettles, and ultimately destabilizes those around him. Ada. The presence of Ada immediately raises questions, since the drama unfolds at a point in the biblical narrative where only 4 humans are presumed to exist. This apparent anomaly is inherited directly from Byron, who endowed both Kain and Abel with wives in his play, drawing on earlier English sources and naming them Ada and Zillah. Byron himself addressed this issue with characteristic irony. In the following pages, I have called them Ada and Zillah, the earliest female names which occur in Genesis. They were those of Lamech's wives, Those of Cain and Abel are not called by their names. Whether, then, a coincidence of subject may have caused the same in expression, I know nothing, and care as little. Weingartner retains Ada, but transforms her into one of the opera's most distinctive figures. She is defined by tender human qualities, warmth, care, ethical sensitivity rooted in lived experience. She nurtures her children, attends to animals, and recoils from unnecessary violence, refusing to wear animal skins and instead inventing wool by weaving fleece given willingly by sheep. Ada embodies compassion without abstraction. Her ethics are lived, tactile, and immediate. At the same time, she's torn between her attraction to the charismatic Abel and her commitment to her children and maternal responsibilities. Lilith. Though she never appears as an acting character on stage, Lilith is the opera's most decisive unseen presence. In Weingartner's reimagining, Lilith is not the demonic seductress of later folklore, but Adam's first companion and the embodiment of a lost, radiant, prelapsarian state. After Adam's fall, she remains in the realm of eternal light, separated from him, but not erased. Abel and Ada are presented as her children, beings who carry within themselves the memory and glow of that unattainable homeland. Lilith thus functions as origin, ideal, and horizon, the source of Abel's visionary striving, the object of Adam's longing, and the silent force that sets the drama's hierarchy of belonging, exclusion, and desire into motion.